Topping today's news, the Prime Minister responds to questions about FTX paying off the Bahamas national debt. The Commissioner of Police gives an update on the gun seizures so far this year, and NBA star Kai Jones facing what seems to be a mental health challenge. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News, and it is a pleasure to have you join us. The FTX tobacco continues to grab headlines globally, and this week, the Office of the Prime Minister was forced to refute a number of reports, both locally and internationally, that Prime Minister Philip Davis met with former FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried to discuss paying off the country's national debt of more than $9 billion. Meanwhile, on the sidelines of the meeting of the Organization of American States, OAS, at Atlantis, where regional leaders are discussing climate change matters ahead of COP28, Prime Minister Davis was asked to confirm reports that he had indeed spoken with Bankman-Fried regarding the Bahamas national debt. In return, the Prime Minister asked several questions of his own before responding.
It was reported that you had met with the founder of FTX to discuss paying off the country's debts. Are you able to confirm whether or not that's true or not?
No, repeat the question.
It was reported that you had met with the founder of FTX.
Who reported that?
No.
And who said I spoke to him? Did he say I spoke to him?
It was an international...
No, I'm just asking whether he was saying that he spoke to me and he offered to do that. Did he say that, or was that speculation? Because who made the claim? Don't you think that you ought to confirm whether such a discussion was held before the question is asked? Because for my part, I had no discussions with FTX or Sam Bankman about paying off the national debt of the Bahamas.
Prime Minister Davis went on to implore reporters to confirm and identify the sources of their claims, and he would be happy to respond. The question regarding Bankman-Fried and the paying off of the Bahamas national debt came after the Times of London published an excerpt of an upcoming biography of Bankman-Fried. Following an announcement from the Office of the Prime Minister last week, Friday, that an Internet technology employee in the Office of the Prime Minister is under investigation for possession of firearms, that male, along with another male and a juvenile, were set to be arraigned in the magistrate's court today for the seizure of 11 firearms and over 700 rounds of ammunition. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando revealed this much at a press conference on Monday afternoon.
Acting on intel, and this was an intelligence-led operation that led officers to a residence in the southwestern district of New Providence, where they executed a search warrant. And during the search, 3 occupants, 2 adult male and a young juvenile, was found in this residence. And during the search, officers recovered 4 high-powered rifles along with 6 pistols and a large sum of ammunition assortment, as you could see, that is laid out here on the table. And if you look just behind you on the screen, you will see how the weapons were found. And it appears though they were involved in firearms trafficking, because you could see some of the weapons was totally wrapped in plastic, properly secured.
He says police suspect that the trio were a part of a ring importing firearms from the United States.
There's a trend we noted that some of them just came with component parts. So they are breaking down the weapons and sending them in different areas. We suspect that it came in from the U.S. and we are partnering with our partners along with the firearms unit with respect to trying to trace exactly where these weapons came from. The serial numbers were still attached to those weapons, and as we continue to see, the majority of our serious crimes are being committed with the use of firearms. And what we have seen in recent time, high-powered rifles are the weapons of choice that is being used on our streets in the commission of a number of our serious crime.
Commissioner Fernando commends officers for a job well done and asserts that intelligence-led operations are working well for the police.
This was generated by our intel unit, and they were right on target. And our intel is really working for us, intelligence-led operation, and you will continue to see many more of these type of operation. All of these weapons, you could imagine, that get into the hands of the criminals to create havoc within our communities. So again, I want to thank all of the officers involved in this operation for a job well done. Are you aware of the October 1st, which was yesterday? We continue to be out there. This is the last quarter of the year. And you will find now the office will start to get empty. Even myself, along with the senior executive leadership team, we will be out there with the troops.
He believes that saturation patrols are at an all-time high in country, and according to calls the police have been receiving, fear of crime for many residents has been declining. A total of 276 firearms and 7,607 rounds of ammunition have been taken off the streets by police officers so far this year alone. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando making this announcement as he gives an update on the policing results and confiscated firearms so far this year.
A total of 276. 276 has been taken off the street, which include 238 pistols, more than 2022. And when you look at the rifles, the high-powered rifles, a total of 19 taken off our street, 8 shotguns, and 11 revolvers. And when you look at ammunition that was taken off, a total of 7,607. That's a large quantity of ammunition, and you could see it was on display. And they just individuals, the 3 individuals who was found in possession of those ammunition over the weekend.
Commissioner Fernando says after thorough investigations of the weapons, most of them have been tracked back to the United States.
This investigation is still going on. It's still live, and we are still communicating with our partners. And that line of inquiry, we should be able to highlight if they came directly from the States. But based on our intel thus far, we suspect that they came from the U.S.
While acknowledging that sometimes it may not seem that things are getting better, the commissioner asserts that police are determined to win the war on crime.
And trust me, sometimes it feels like you.
He thanks the public who continue to be the police eyes and ears assisting in this fight against crime in the country. With suicide attempts on the rise in country, police have plans on implementing training courses for officers to be able to effectively help individuals in that mental state. Over the weekend, a Grand Bahama woman jumped from a vehicle in an attempt to take her own life, and just last week, police reported 3 attempted suicides in the span of 72 hours. Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernando encourages family members to pay attention to your loved ones.
You know, sometimes you could see signs of what is going on. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Pay attention and to reach out to the professionals or somebody who you could trust, who will steer you in the right direction to avoid incidents like this. To take a life, your life is not good. It's not good. But let's continue to pray for those individuals, and we are assisting wherever possible to deal with the situation.
Commissioner Fernando goes on to say that he is also concerned about the mental health of his officers who go out daily to protect our country.
And we have Canon Davis, who is a part of our team, who is assisting in a big way to connect us with the professionals. I myself visited hundreds of homicides from a young constable growing up in CID. I'm talking about hundreds. And thank God I'm still here with a stirring mind and still focused. But, you know, everybody plays differently. And so we can't leave nothing for granted, and we're going to do just that. to seek help for our officers and even the training aspect of it.
That was Commissioner of Police Clayton Fernander. And finally, in this segment, the United Nations, the UN, the Security Council, has approved a year-long multinational security mission to Haiti. In August, the Bahamas committed to send 150 officers to Haiti as part of a multinational force to give Haitian officers training and technical help. Now that the mission is approved, Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King, says the troops are ready and prepared, but he will reserve his comments at this time.
At this time, it is prudent for the government to speak on those issues politically in terms of winning the hearts and minds of the general public and the need to send our troops. But as an organization, we continue to prepare, we continue to plan. The Honorable Minister and I, we would have attended a recent Latin American and Caribbean conference in Argentina, which sought to create a framework for the hemisphere in terms of countries seeking to participate in any peacekeeping operations. But I'll allow the government, in particular the Honorable Minister of National Security, to speak politically. But when the appropriate time comes, then I'll speak with more specificity in terms of any composition, because everything will be driven by a United Nations Security Council mandate. That will determine the composition of the force, and with the government deciding specifically which role any of our Marines will participate in.
He asserts that the environment in Haiti is volatile, but vowed to keep Bahamians protected.
The environment is very unstable. It's a failed state. It's not a safe environment given the gang activity, but the public could rest assured. If and when we decide to send persons to Haiti, the vulnerabilities and the risk would be reduced significantly. And we'll ensure that our members are prepared to the highest degree, and they're resourced and prepared to keep any risk of any casualty to a minimum.
That was Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.